The Occupy mobs that have been enabled by technology more than anything are impossible to respect. They're confused, befuddled, racing to their local lumber yards to buy planking for this, the latest popular bandwagon in their lives. Just because it's popular doesn't mean that it's worthwhile, or right, or true. What would make their efforts worthwhile? I would give them respect and look up to them if they left the streets of North America and took their demonstration to the streets of Tehran, Beijing, Damascus, Cairo, or Palestine. Let them demonstrate in these places for freedom and truth. Let them take on Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, a nutty loon who is intent on wiping Israel off the map by way of his pursuit of nuclear weapons. Tell him that this is not nice, and while you're at it, see if you can get Iranian Christian pastor Yosef Nadarkhani a cancellation of his death sentence for the non-crime of abandoning Islam. Maybe the Iranian authorities will want to really make nice by allowing freedom of religion and the establishment of Christian churches throughout Iran. Come on, why not give that a try? Or go to China, take on the Communist Party of China for the democratic rights of Chinese citizens. Or go to China, take on the Communist Party of China for the democratic rights of Chinese citizens, and for the rights of Chinese Christians in worshiping freely and openly. Go to the Tiananmen Square and do what is needed to publicize the brutal crackdown of the Communist Party when they turned the military loose against hundreds of innocent Chinese in June of 1989. Go there, start something, anything, and find out if the Chinese communists have perhaps become a little more lenient, a little kinder, maybe even a little gentler. The timing could be just right, and you might be the person who goes down in history as the person who started Chinese glasnost. If you'd rather see another part of the world, you could always hop onto a different airplane and fly to Damascus. Visit there or go to any of the other towns and cities in Syria. Dare to align yourself publicly with everyday Syrian citizens by challenging the Syrian armed forces and the tyrannical leader of this wicked, brutal, and medieval country, Bashar al-Assad. Perhaps the crowds that are occupying Wall Street and many other American cities should go to Cairo and stand with the beleaguered Coptic Christians who are being attacked and brutalized by savage militant Islamists who want to terrorize these original New Testament believers out of their country, maybe even completely out of existence. Maybe even completely out of existence. Not enough yet? Then go to Palestine. Tell Hamas that it is time to take apart and neutralize their rockets and missiles. They're all held so that they can be pointed and launched at Israel, fired to hurt and kill innocent Israelis, their children, infants, young adults, fathers, mothers, and grandparents. Have it out with the operatives of the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigades or the leaders of Fatah or the PLO. All of these organizations start with the position that Israel does not have a right to exist and that the country of Israel must be destroyed, driven into the sea. Tell them clearly, concisely, and with the intensity of a well-focused laser that they're wrong and you've come there to stop them. Still looking for more? Travel to Burma. Look up Aung San Suu Kyi. Tell this embattled democratic dissident who has spent years of her life under house arrest simply wanting democracy for her people. Tell her that you're going to advocate for her by explaining to the military that it's time for them to give her a break and to step down and let the people be in charge of Burma. Go ahead, make her day. And if that's not enough, then go to Pyongyang. Find a statue or a picture of the great leader or of his nutcase son, the dear leader. Throw red paint on their vulgar likenesses in an effort to publicize the wickedness and scandal of these illegitimate and murderous men. Find a way to open the eyes of the North Korean populace by letting them know that they've been held in the grip of a venomous regime of slithering snakes. Then gently tell the North Korean government that they're responsible for a society of Stalinist brutality, resulting in the deaths of millions of innocents and a country that can't even supply the basic necessities of life for their dear citizens who would long and yearn for what we take for granted, if only they were able to even smell a hint of a whiff of what they did not have. Figure out some way to ensure that dear leader and his son Kim Jong-un, the next dear leader, get your message. Can't muster enough bravery for these challenges? Well, get off the streets and go to the Red Cross and give blood. And find a place where you can donate some of your bone marrow for those unfortunates who are striving to beat cancer, if even only for a little while longer. Stop wasting your time protesting the best society that the world has ever seen. Yes, with all of its imperfections, go to a volunteer job in a hospital or a hospice or a homeless shelter. There's so many needs right under your nose. Kids that need to be lovingly fostered, mentally challenged persons looking for just a little time at the mall, a reliable volunteer at an out-of-the-cold shelter so that people don't freeze on the streets this winter. I'm sick and tired of all the good people that have simply allowed themselves to diminish to a pathetically low level, simply going lower than any self-respecting person should ever go. Why sink to the positions of the rabble who believe that occupation in cities and towns, that this is worth their time and effort? How pathetic. Get yourselves motivated. Get off the streets and for God's sake, do something worthwhile, anything worthwhile. You need to be a giver, not a taker. The world will truly benefit if you are one who loves, not one who hates. If nothing else, go and help someone who can't read. Go and teach them that illiteracy doesn't have to be forever. And here's yet one final idea. Go to a Canadian native reservation that needs clean water and better sanitation and give them a hand bringing about the needed improvements that never seem to come to their towns and their reservation. Show them that they're worth it. You get the idea. Find someone somewhere who needs you to make a real difference. Then get busy and get it done.